traded for the Rell and for the Kaisa. So trying to set up Gala at least to have some aggressive lane state towards Ming in that bottom lane. And maybe, just maybe, they can get Ming out of this bottom side of the map and working with Wei like we've seen in the regular season.
Yep, going to take themselves the Kaisa, so the bot lane duo locked and ready to go. They could, of course, have that last pick go towards maybe a mid lane, ban out some mid laners, go towards top side, ban out top laners. I would obviously prefer to see them pick up their jungler. Do not want to see Wei getting banned out, as pretty much everything's on the board for him, apart from that Nocturne. So we are going to see Tristana picked up here for Lwx, having a fantastic series in that bot side, all things considered. And for the rest of it, they're probably going to look into maybe go for this, maybe the Gragas. Hell, they could go for the Nautilus as well. There's so many options.
Yeah, I feel like the kind of the synergy you've got with the Rakan and with the Hecarim can work really, really well here, right? To just make sure you've got this super strong team fight. And even if you pair it again with Doinb, who chances are is going to go towards a blind pick Orianna unless it's banned away here from RNG, well, now you've got that fantastic combo. You've got multiple ball delivery systems. You squishy everyone up, so then Tristana can take over the fight. This is looking great here for FPX. Whereas for RNG, this is where we need to see them really power through these next this counter pick on red side. This fifth pick is going to be crucial because you know already you've got a strong team fight, very short range coming through from RNG with the Udyr, Kaisa and the Rell. But if you can take something up towards that top side for Nuguri that can throw wrench into the works, like something like Jace, maybe they can play through that strong lane on top side.
No Udyr this time around, though, for Cryin. He did actually have a pretty decent game last time. Tried to make something stick for his team, but just definitely working against the current. We have to see the Kennen here banned away. That is something that Nuguri has only actually played twice so far this split, but is something that he is very famous being able to turn the tides of battle.
This could actually spell out Jace pick here. I think it's curious to see the Nar ban if you are going to go towards Jace, but certainly when you're looking towards Kennen, it's something that can kind of play safe in the lane against Jace, and Jace can't really interact with it as well. It's actually FPX as well who are banning out the Orianna and the Udyr, so these easy blind pickable mid laners going to be taken off the board, and maybe you end up falling back towards the likes of the Victor or maybe the Rise here as well coming through for Cryin. Or Seraphine.
Could go with the Seraphine, either or. You got a lot of different kind of setups here that could set up for maybe an Aatrox or something.
Well, I think it works super well with RNG just because, hey, I mean, look, you are this short range composition that really wants to find and engage. Seraphine works super well with the Udyr, and as you said, these more bruiser orientated top laners. We'll have to see what that final pick is going to be, but right now, that's kind of a key to unlocking the potential for RNG and their composition.
A little bit right now, you're kind of looking towards Gala to be the carry here for the side of RNG, and maybe FPX hovering towards these Lulus, these Karmas, the Karma top lane, and
could be
Chakras could be mid. I think it works better in top. All right, maybe you go with the Lulu. Maybe you go with both.
Yeah.
You just look for the Hecarim Tristana carry.
So this is the thing. Nuguri is a bit of a Lulu expert. Like, it's been his pocket pick for a while. Doinb played a whole heap of Karma as well in the summer split last year, where he was playing off of Lwx and picks like the Aphelios. And honestly, this could work super well where you're just enabling the likes of this Hecarim.
I love this if they lock this one in. I absolutely love this. The flex. You don't get to counter pick. You either go against the Renekton or the Karma. You don't know which one you're going out of, and FPX get full decision. Now, I will say that when we have seen it majority of the times, you know, from the side of, actually it's been 3-3 across the board now that I look at the stat. So this could go literally to either side of anyone right now. For RNG, do you look for the safe weak side? Yep, you do. They're not looking for the Xiaohu carry anymore. This is the eggs in the Gala basket.
Yeah, this is all in on bot side. The last time we saw them play this, though, was against JDG.
It didn't look good.
Where they got 2-0. It did not look good.
And it's not Sion.
It's not.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. He can be the engaged without putting himself into a bad position. That's all I'm saying for Xiaohu.
Yeah, it's also the first time, I believe, that we're actually seeing Xiaohu bring out this Ornn. Yeah, he brought out the Malphite and the Sion and stuff, so haven't seen the Ornn. We'll see how it goes, but Nuguri definitely in a commanding position on this Renekton in the early stages. But as we get to the late game, like, the double whammy between the Ornn ult and that Seraphine ult enables Tian to get rolling, start making these picks happen with this Karma. FPX, they snowball out of control in classic FPX fashion.
See if they're able to get that snowball again. Let the Gyos go! No FPX Xiaohus, only RNG. They are, of course, an incredibly popular organization throughout China and the world, realistically. And we're going to have to see them kind of really come out now and make some kind of a difference. This is going to be all on Gala. It's going to be all on Wei as well to make sure that his lanes, like we said in the last game, aren't just multiple different fires that he can't kind of, you know, that he's stretching himself too thin over.
Yeah, this is... so. We've been talking a lot about FPX mixing up their strategy, right? And it's been working, obviously, incredibly well against RNG. This is now RNG mixing up their strategy. They're saying, look, we haven't been able to play through Xiaohu on this top side. We haven't been able to get control there. So instead, we're going to try and power through Wei and Cryin. Like, this 1-2 combo between the Seraphine and the Udyr is so incredibly strong. Maybe they can try and make some plays on towards Doinb in the early stages of the game, turn that pressure into bot lane plays at level 6.
Well, we can see there the grand entrance, Gala taking a bigger chunk than Lwx, and that's kind of the difference here, is that if Gala can get the, you know, the 4 stacks of his passive off, he will probably win the trade. But you automatically win the trade if you're Lwx, because the Tristana bomb is just going to do more, just straight up because it does guarantee damage.
Yeah, as Gala in these early stages, you really want to try and isolate Lwx. If you can get the full blast of your Q off, you're going to do a lot of damage and a lot of burst very quickly. But you can see there that if Lwx is able to get the bomb off and trade effectively, he's in a much better position. I want to take a look though at these junglers, right? Because Tian has actually gone right. Top side, Nuguri, you're on your own. I'm actually going to path from top to bot and make sure that I can try and play through Lwx and Crisp and try and shut down Gala in this early game. We've already said that Gala's the main win condition here on this Kaisa, so Tian is just like, cool, let's just try and make sure he's not having a fun time.
Yeah, honestly, it's such a smart adaptation. You know the Renekton's not really going to be in any threat. Even if the Udyr did pop himself up, he's pretty safe even with his flash available to him. So just covering the bot side in case Wei does try to get a little sneaky-deaky towards these bot lane duos. And right now you can see just everyone is kind of playing respectfully. No one really knowing exactly where everyone is right now.
Yeah, and the big difference here for the FPX bot lane is the biscuit. You can actually see Gala's opted in towards the inspiration tree. It's given him the extra biscuits, which he's able to trade super heavily and then still be fine. But now, Wei, level 4, pathing over towards the scuttle. Gala and Ming looking to join.
Looking to join, but you can see in mid lane there, it was actually Cryin straight away, just going, I'm roaming. I don't care if the wave's in a bad position. I don't care if I lose CS, because as Seraphine mid, that's not your job. Your job is not to get up, you know, to these kind of crazy CS numbers, as we can see Tian moving up towards this mid lane, gonna go pathing through that to get the top side scuttle. But back to my point, Seraphine is not there to be this monstrous carry. She's there to facilitate. You want to hit the 2 items and then be at that point looking towards your AD carry or your top laner to carry.
Especially with how cheap your items are in the Moonstone and also then going towards Merlonomicon. The thing is here though, Doinb matches that, right? Doinb, because you're on Karma, he's going to be going a very similar build. Very similar things when it comes to the non-ultimate abilities, but obviously Cryin lending himself towards the teamfight pressure that RNG can bring. But you can answer that as well with Doinb here. I think when you paired this Karma and Hecarim, the pick potential that you have goes sky high. And even that's not adding like the Reverie battle song that'll be coming through from Chris. This Pony, it's going to be quick.
Pony is jumping in. It jumps straight onto Lwx. One more auto attack. The Ignite is ticking.
Oh, Chris.
Chris, knowing that he might have seen his AD carry go down, flashes over, gets him away. That is almost all summoners gone. Just a heal for Gala and Ignite for Chris. But you can see already RNG, they want this bot lane to work.
Well, I mean, it's the fact that Gala and Ming are just heavily winning through their own presence in the lane. Chris forced to say, get down, Mr. Presence, as he flashes in front of the missile. But Wei now looking to train against Tian.
Getting a bit of damage here. Needs to be careful though. The
TP
bot lane coming in from Nuguri, and they're going to try and chase this one down. There's no flashes here as Chris stayed around. Nuguri going to be the benefactor to all of these kills if he's able to get on top of them. The attract repel is enough. Ming, we salute you for your service, sir. He puts himself in harm's way and gets himself killed to save his AD carry. Wei, however, has to flash away, but Tian is still able to pick up that kill. Wei being way too far forward.
I mean, Cryin didn't go with them. I mean, look at where the wave is. Cryin has been freezing this for such a long time, and Wei decides, hey, look, I'm going to go for this invade, but it buys time for Doinb to come across. Tian survives, and because you're not going ghost for ghost, Tian just opens up the distance. And that's a massive mistake coming through from Wei, and now kills for Nuguri on this bottom side as well. Not the start you were hoping for RNG.
No, not really. And again, we talk about explosive kind of setups as Lwx perfectly buffers the crash down, but talk about early game explosive setups here for FPX. When they get these advantages, they generally don't let go. And this is honestly just such a smart play from Nuguri, realizing, oh cool, they're still here. They're greeting for this plate.
And he's just shoved in top lane as well, right? So it's not like Xiaohu's going to be able to push out this wave. Xiaohu's actually completely out of mana as well. So you're able to just pick this up for free as Nuguri, reset, and yes, you will lose some CS on that top side, but the difference is marginal, especially when you're looking at the 10 CS lead that Nuguri already has.
Yeah, it goes from it goes to a 10 CS lead to what could have been a 20 CS lead. It's not really that big of a deal, as you can see now with that wave pushed in. He still gets himself a plate. I say Xiaohu doing relatively all right into this lane, but with the Dragon down to about 1,000 HP, Wei needs to back away. This might just be given over. He can't contest this. Never mind. They're going to go straight in for it. The smite comes down. They drop down the Iron Core. Tian will sacrifice his life. Doinb gets flashed on and gets crashed down. He's nowhere to go. He's just been CC'd for days. 2 quick kills, but FPX did pick himself up the Dragon.
Yeah, this is where you kind of go, damn, I need Merc threads real bad, but he actually goes towards the Ionian. I still think, though, like, this, as FPX, was a bit of an overextension. I thought they'd be able to get the Dragon bursted and get the hell out of dodge, but because Xiaohu willing to invest that TP, he's like, look, we need to start getting some wins on the map. I don't care if I lose out heavily in this top side. I need to make things right on this bottom side of the map.
Well, Nuguri going to find himself away in the jungle as he's just going to try and be a nuisance with that priority you talked about in this top side. Wei not really in a position to contest this. Seraphine had already reset. You can have the Hecarim with the top side as well. But Nuguri says, you know what? I don't want this camp. I want your camp, as he pushed himself forward. But now Tian is here, and they're just bullying out Wei right now.
Yeah, Doinb's able to roam across. Cryin's got to go collect that mid wave, so they can't actually contend this. And again, this is Tian playing so well off of his lane states. Getting in, invading. Now, yes, it was Nuguri who led the charge on this one, but you can see a very different style of FPX. It's trying to shut down Wei and watching RNG crumble from that focal point.
So very, very early on in the game. It is only about a 300-400 goal lead. Again, nothing too spectacular. You will have the extra little bit of utility with someone like an Ornn in the later game, but we talked about the crypto versus the stocks, the nest egg versus the instant buyout, as we wait to see now where the RNG and FPX are willing to fight over this one. It's a 4v4 as Crisp now joins the fray.
Yeah, but you also got Lwx coming up. This is not going to turn out pretty for RNG, and they realize that. Like, this is FPX like knew this whole time that because of the pressure they had top side, Tian's going to be free to take this. Xiaohu can't do anything, no ult, no flash, no anything to try and turn this around. So FPX power through this early game, and again, RNG are just not part of this game right now. Wei hasn't had any impact top. He's lost all of his farm on that top side of the map. He's not able to get an impact in this bottom lane either, and FPX are free to do what they want. Got
themselves a rift. Did steal away the Dragon as well, so it's the 2 neutrals that we generally see at the start of the game being taken in favor of FPX. And again, there is still Gala. Gala is still 10 CS ahead of this bot lane and is still pushing in with the priority.
Yeah, but this is where they need to lead. You can see Ming and Gala, they're like, right, we need to get this farm bot side or Wei's just out of the game. So Cryin moving in, but Gala, like this, I think they just need to full invade on bot side. Like, they actually have the first pressure.
He's playing bouncer. He literally can't walk in on it.
Yeah, but I think you just fight it, right? Ming has ult. You just walk straight up. You can then force the flash, or at least Doinb back. You go in, you steal away all the camps. Like, that's where you can try and find these advantages. Right now, though, you're just slow bleeding out as RNG. Tian now, look at this. Yes, advantage. He's got 10. He's still got his red buff. He's still got Krugs to farm. Whereas for Wei, he's kind of sitting there with an empty bowl saying, can I have some more, please?
What movie was that?
Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist. I was like, that's not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No, very different. What is like the literal opposite?
Set in industrial Britain, all right? That's where I was going. But we're gonna see where Wei was going. He tries to maybe make something work on this top side. It's so difficult now because Ming's shown himself on this ward, didn't actually see it going over it, and now they know exactly where everyone is from this RNG bot duo, or the jungle duo. Now they know that Gala's in a little bit of trouble. He has flash, he has heal. He's going to walk himself away. Will have a nice little cheeky ward to keep him safe, but now he's in a lot of trouble should he walk forward.
There's no way this is, like, what happened here? Like, I want to know what FPX had for breakfast, because they've been looking absolutely incredible. And I want to know what RNG I've been doing as well, because this really feels like we haven't got to see RNG. They've gone for 2 drafts in a row. This Snar pick has been counters. We've had Wei, who hasn't been able to play through topside alongside Ming. Like, this is just RNG taking a completely different turn and not honestly playing their game at all.
I don't think they've been allowed to be perfectly honest. I don't think it's been a, you know, I don't think it's been a conscious choice from RNG to be able to say that they are not the ones to be able to take it. But now 4 plates here for Nuguri, who tries to be a nuisance in this top side. You do have the Bramble Vest and the Bambi Cinder, so it's actually relatively easy for the Ornn to tank up this, but still difficult should he get ganked.
Yeah, the big thing here, though, is that because we've got such a short-range composition coming through from RNG, Nuguri can go towards the Gorge Drinker. So rather than going Stride Breaker to try and get himself that bit more distance, get himself into these team fights and slowing people, RNG will become to him. So he's like, cool, I don't need this. I just want to be that drain tank and try and set up these fights perfectly for FPX.
Oh, Lwx. Lwx might be in a lot of trouble here. They flash forward and he gets the buster shot, but the TPs are both being committed. Crisp is here, as is Ming. They're going to jump straight in on top of Cryin, but Nuguri is dead. Now Cryin with the Encore does force the cleanse out of Lwx. There's the onslaught of shadows as they get another TP, and it's the Seraphine for the Renekton. There isn't the TP right now for Xiaohu, so he cannot join this fight. Ends up going 2-1 in favor of FPX.
And this is so good from FPX. They just know, hey, we have the TP advantage. If RNG commit, we just bring the cavalry, and there's nothing that can be done. Xiaohu, wonderful. You got some turret plates. You're an Ornn. No one gives a crap. So now FPX can turn towards Dragon. You've got all this gold that's invested onto Tian, in towards Lwx. Like, I don't know. Things ain't looking so hot.
I will say, I don't think we can give Xiaohu the, you know, the business for not having his teleport up. That's not really his fault. Yeah. So he only gets it up right now. Gets himself 2 turret plates, or maybe 3. I wasn't quite sure exactly where it started. But now Nuguri back in this top side, going to be able to push this one back in. Yep. And it's going to be a little bit of an upward climb here as we hit about a 2,000 gold lead and 2 dragons here for FPX.
I mean, look, this is just smart from Nuguri. I'm assuming the Ornn came out to try and stop it. Yeah, he just spot him, but oh no, Xiaohu, that's not it.
He just had, it was blind. It was blind. Again, I'm not going to give him the business because he was trying his best.
Doesn't it? When you
I don't believe so.
Okay, anyway, looking towards this FPX great call. Crisp as well, beautiful flash, beautiful engage. All things pretty from FPX, and the Phoenix is burning bright in this game. Now Tian is like, excuse me, Mr. Xiaohu, have you got a time to talk about how we're just going to take your tower right in front of your face?
Honestly, the way things have gone, Xiaohu can kind of hold his head up high and say, you know what, I have my Sunfire. That's pretty all right coming out of this laning phase, considering he had 2,500 gold down. He got these dragons. Like, I'm trying to look at silver linings here.
It's not even silver linings. This is like copper linings. Like, it's really like, cool, you can sell it for tuppence, but it's not really going to go too far in the grand scheme of things. Look, we're talking about industrial England earlier on. We're moving on. But here we go, coming into this as well. 2 dragons now for FPX. Full control for Tian as well. He's been running amok in this early stages. And when you got an Ocean Soul to play with as well, it feels like FPX have got their win condition laid out beautifully for them.
We'll say, good Encore, good Call of the Forge God, either or. You're in a pretty decent spot. Ming goes in with the Pheromancy, but is going to be knocked up and taken down. Nowhere for him to go. And that's just an overextension, not getting the right combo and just being punished so heavily.
This is worrying. I don't think RNG are exactly keeping their head held up high for that Sunfire cape in the top lane. It really does feel like they're just falling aside here. And look, Nuguri solo on the Rift Herald, full deep vision going into the bottom side for FPX. And they're going to be able to turn this over towards Terra on the bottom side. Like, you take mid-tier, Nuguri comes to facilitate that mid-push that RNG will have coming back out, and then you just shift across the map in towards bottom lane. But looks like actually Cryin will be back here to try and defend, but FPX still get this Rift Herald.
They still do, and I'm trying to be positive. It's not in my disposition to be, you know, damning down people. I like an underdog story. I'm Irish. We're not good at anything, so whenever we do well, we're just like, woohoo, it's happy to be here. But RNG are not happy to be here. And FPX, do not let me take away from this. FPX have been exceptional, like truly, truly exceptional, to the point where I was thinking, you know, it's going to be a top esports. We're looking good. EDG is still looking very good, but Chris, but he's on top of awards, so there's nothing he can really do there. But this is a kind of a performance from a team that I would be very happy to put in and say they are title contenders.
But I mean, look at the gold. Nuguri, Doinb, LWX, I mean, Gala, cool, you've managed to eke it back up, but that's the only person on RNG who's actually sitting there in the top. Now, that gold coming off that turret will do great. You do have the Kraken Slayer and the Serrated Dirk already done. You're very quickly getting that Q evolve for the Kaisa, but here we go.
There we go, indeed. There is the Ornn Horn going to be used. Flash away there from Doinb as he tries to get himself away. He will be able to do it, but the crash down with the Magnet Storm, able to do so much. Now you've got Gala finally joining in, heals up way to keep him alive. Onslaught of Shadows right into the middle of the fray as we get FPX trying to turn this one back around. Tian will not die. Oh, Nuguri jumps straight back in, and now LWX flashing away, forces a flash from Xiaohu, and everybody else backs away. It's the support for your jungler, but you need the jungler for the dragon.
There's so much healing that's going to be come out though with the double Moonstaff on the mid lane, or at least Moonstone, I apologize, on those mid laners. There'll be a lot of wayward healing coming in, and you could see there Tian trying to see if he could muscle up enough of that health bar to go for the engage, but mid lane terror falls, bot lane should fall to this Rift Herald as Nuguri will be able to collect that wave, with the TP coming through from Cryin though, might actually be able to hold on to this.
Should be able to get it. You don't have Flash, Dominus, or Gore Drinker active right now for the Renektons, so got to be a little bit more respectful. I was just about to say it as we go into a replay here. This is Xiaohu just trying to make something work, and RNG going 1-for-1 is not terrible.
The big thing though is the Flash is being burnt here, right? Because when we look towards that Dragon, which will be coming out after this replay, not having both those flashes makes things a lot easier. LWX also burnt his at the end of this fight, so at least for RNG, maybe X marks the spot now when it comes towards the crossing ultimates that can come through from Xiaohu and from Cryin.
Very important to note as well when we come out of this replay, Cryin has the Chemtech Putrefier, as does Doinb, so massive heat, grievous wounds, anti-heal coming in from both sides. You will be able to stop these big healings coming out from everyone on the solo lanes.
Yeah, it's a classic heal, no heal, as comes in with all these kind of more supportive mid laners. Now though, Ming trying to see if he can clear out this vision. I'm really struggling because both Crisp and Ming have been the two premier Rell players, so my brain's a little funky when it comes to this, but Ming now could get a big engage in towards this pit. No flash though.
A lot of flashes down, almost all flashes down, but there's the Encore, lands onto 3, and Tristana is dead. There's the Ornn Horn right on top of Nuguri, and he's dead too. Double kill going over to the side of RNG, and the crowd goes wild. They are not dead yet, they are still in this game.
They at least have struck the chest. That X marks the spot now, giving a nice thud and some little bit of gold back in favor of RNG, but they are well and truly far away from actually being able to get the treasure that is the victory here. And now they will be able to push in towards this mid lane. They might be able to get some pressure down in the spot lane. And for FPX, it is a rude awakening saying you're not out of the woods yet.
Yes, Nuguri is big, but those Gore Drinker nerfs hurt. When you're not able to get that one out, the extra little bit of healing. Let's have a look at what's going. This is just Cryin perfectly positioned to be able to just run it through everybody.
But it's Wei here as well, right? Wei is waiting back and forth. He's basically coming through as that extra range. And LWX tried. He had the cleanse, but unfortunately for him, there's just too many people coming out of the woodwork on RNG's side. You get that big Magnet Storm on towards Nuguri as well, so he's not able to get as much healing off as like, especially with that Chemtech Putrefier that you already called out. So not the best of fights for FPX. It felt like a lot of things went wayward, and now RNG, they're kind of back into it. I mean, look at Gala. He's got the Kraken Slayer, Collector completed. Like, he's actually in a really strong spot, a full item essentially ahead of his counterpart in LWX.
We'll be able to figure out the third and final outer down on this bot side that will go over to Nuguri as he goes 0, 2, and 3, not having the same amount of impact as we saw in the previous 2 games. And FPX just owning this bot side of the jungle right now, but RNG, they can feel it. The momentum behind them is very much there. My eyes are squared firmly onto Gala. If Gala dies in any of these fights, you have no damage on RNG.
But it's the same on the opposite side, right? It's what we just saw. LWX goes in that little bit too far and ends up costing FPX the fight. Now, with RNG loving the fact that they get time on top.
I got really taken aback by the random. I was like, what was that?
I thought Jamie the other side.
Yeah, I thought Jamie, our sound guy, was just messing with me.
As a guy from the north of England, I would have been impressed if he could have hit those notes. But
he's a sound engineer. I don't know his magic.
Either way, though, I'm looking at this bottom side jungle very much in favor of RNG, and this is where RNG start to have a lot more fun with things. when they're able to get this deep vision, where they're able to play the map, play off these side lanes, and FPX now, they kind of gave away the massive tempo advantage that they had. This game is no longer feeling as fast and as furious as we saw in Game 1 and Game 2, so maybe RNG can slow down this pace and find their moment in the sun.
Speaking of finding their moment, Gala might be getting jumped on here. Tian is on the backside. Flash from Gala to keep himself alive. There's the Onslaught of Shadows to try and keep everyone away. There's completely whiffed off of the Encore, but look at Lwx off to the side. He's trying to do damage. He jumps in, but he gets straight away caught out, and you can see Cryin trying to go in, but they've caught out as many as there. It's just Gala left in this fight, and it's FPX with a triple kill for their AD carry. They find the fight and they push for Baron.
That could be everything. FPX can take the Baron. They can take these side lanes. They've taken control of this game, Penguin. RNG have been quelled when they came in first in the regular split, but FPX's rise to the stars will not be stopped.
It gets FPX their foot in the door, and now it's on RNG to stop that momentum and slam it back out, because FPX are in the driver's seat. They will pick themselves up the Baron. That will be on all 5 members. A minute and a half until Dragon. Perfect time for reset. Get themselves some gold. But look at this. They try to go all in on Gala. Gala burns everything, and then Lwx is free hitting.
And look at that from Tian. Beautifully sidesteps Ming. Finds the big Onslaught of Shadows, and I'm looking at Gala in this fight. Like, Gala's got it, but look, as you said, Lwx free hitting this whole time, playing beautifully around the cooldowns that are coming in from the Rell, knowing there's nothing that can shut him down, and he pops off. And now, this series is starting to feel like a culmination of everything we've talked about for FPX. The fastest Phoenix, the bloodiest Phoenix. Tian time is in prime time right now, and FPX are putting on a sublime show for us.
RNG still have opportunities, but it's becoming so much more difficult. You've got 2-level lead now for Nuguri over Xiaohu, a level lead for Tian over Wei, so these aren't even fair Smite fights either.
And it feels like as soon as this last Whisper, or the Lord Dominic, sorry, comes in from Lwx, it's nights out. Like, Xiaohu won't be tanky enough to try and deal with it. He's going to be dealing so much damage to the front line of RNG as well, and if he even gets a look at Gala or Cryin, they are donezo.
See, Tian just hovering, making sure there's no funny business here as Nuguri finds himself underneath this tower. He has nothing to really be afraid of as the rest of RNG were starting to reset. Important to note, you now have the Phantom Dancer finished up here for Gala. You are still a little bit ahead if you can get this fight going for you, but you can see here, good wards here from RNG, keeping them safe in their own jungle.
You can't contest. FPX burst this down, full control of this bot side jungle, and now you're looking at a real uphill battle. 5 minutes until this Ocean Dragon. Now, maybe RNG looking for the pick, but you have
Nuguri.
all 5 members of FPX.
Nuguri is caught out by Wei, but it's going to be the fight now. As you can see, Lwx has to flash himself out. They do get the lockdown, but they have no extra damage. As you see, Ming is gone down. The Encore is here. Here's Nuguri. Flash forward, gets himself right on top of the damage. Gala trying his very best to keep himself alive, but you cannot get away from Nuguri. The World Championship top laner with the 2019 World Championship team will melt RNG. 3-0 on the day. FPX going to the winners final.
It's yippee-ki-yay for FPX as they soar in onto RNG. They will close this game out in 3-0. The reset comes in for the teleport onto the minions for Nuguri.
If they're not on your top of your power rankings before this, they should be now. The first Nexus turret does fall. Ming, valiant effort, but there's just nothing you can do to stop the freight train that is this Phoenix. FPX 3-0 over RNG, and they will go to the winners finals.
What a performance from FPX. Yeah, and I had all these stats that were there for RNG, where I was like, hey, look, you know, right for Dragon percent, highest Baron, most towers per game. I was going to be like, yeah, look, this is how RNG play. And like, hey, their kill participation's almost identical, but their death participation was the same in this. They were just getting wiped across the floor with FPX, and I gotta hand it to FPX. This looks dominant. This looks like the team that went towards the World Championship in 2019.
And honestly, like right now, this feels like a team that can win the whole thing. This feels like even with top esports and EG on the other side of the bracket, you have the momentum behind you to be able to challenge them. Because I feel like at the time, especially between ourselves within the caster group, was kind of like, all right, it'll be RNG top esports. So RNG top esports, I was hoping for EDG because like I like Viper a lot, but he's very fun to watch. But this feels finally that we're like, okay, FPX came to play, and now you got another kind of contender in our top 4. And honestly, whoever wins between our top 4 teams, the rest of the world loses at MSI. That's all I'm saying. Like,
well, I feel like I've got to like put down the RNG now and pick up the Doinb apparently, which has now been changed over to it. Because honestly, this has been amazing from FPX, and I really do think that to see the different styles that they can execute on makes it really tough to try and lock them in. Because FPX for the longest time were like, hey, look, you know, crazy picks in the mid for Doinb. They're going to play through side lanes. They're going to go for the 4-man dives. And even though we saw that adaptation to play through Nuguri in the top side, you were still getting 3-man dives. You were still getting a lot from the jungler intervention in lanes. This series was about the lanes playing towards Tian, making sure that Tian could invade off of the prio that they had. And as such a different style, but one that FPX could still make work.
And honestly, I gotta give props to whoever came up with this style of play, because it just we couldn't really figure out how do you deal with RNG. It's like if RNG lent towards bot side, we knew it was kind of like more RNG's fault than anyone else capitalizing. But FPX just zeroed in on Wei and said, if you're silent, if you're muted and can't do anything in this game, the rest of your team falls apart. And you can see there, FPX a little bit up and down. There was a couple of small moments for RNG to come back into it, but Nuguri and Lwx were just on point.
Yeah, Nuguri was a monster this whole series. The fact he could manhandle Xiaohu in the way that he did and just stop any sort of play coming through from RNG in that top side. And then, as you said, like the game plan from RNG revolves so heavily around them having lane control and having some sort of control on the map. They didn't get a look in this game. Every single time from start to finish, Nuguri was controlling, Tian was in control, Lwx